Goodness gracious, Johnny, what a dramatically dour title you have there. Is there really any need for the melodramatics? No, not particularly, but, what do you think I make YouTube videos for? The fun? Don't make me laugh. No, I'm here for the free therapy session, so shut up and listen, will you? As someone who doesn't write or produce or have any involvement with the making of TV shows and films, it's very easy for me to sit here and say, oh, entertainment is all garbage right now. So here goes. Entertainment is all garbage right now. But it's not just entertainment, it's the coverage that surrounds the entertainment as well is just as bad, if not worse, than the entertainment itself. There's a plethora of platforms these days who still feel the need to fill Google's search bar with journalistic feces. And I'm using the term journalist quite loosely there, as anyone with a frontal cortex can be a journalist these days. Actually. Can you imagine using sensationalized titles, clickbaity pictures, just to draw people in, just to ultimately spit your opinion at them? I could never do anything like that. Yes, the title of journalist isn't quite held to the same regard as it once was, and every preceding generation would argue that that's ever long been the case. But believe it or not, there was actually a period in time where, if you told someone, if you actually admitted to someone that you were a journalist, they wouldn't spit at you and throw things. Get this, there was once a time where the title journalist, actually carried a modicum of respect with it. Goodness gracious, can you imagine such a thing? These days, the term journalist carries as much weight as a Ryanair flight, and rightly so. The only people that actually look to these journalistic outlets for any kind of legitimate reviews or remarks are just people who haven't heard of things like YouTube yet. Take YouTube, for example. You can handpick commentators on almost any subject you can possibly think of from one of the most comprehensive pools of real fans. Why on earth would I give a shit what Variety has to say about the latest Marvel movie when I can tune in to what the actual fanbase has to say about it? Why on earth would I listen to a journalist who's been personally invited and flown out to the premiere, who just last week wrote an article about what's the best cookbook under $20, when I can go and listen to someone who read the comics, played the games, watched the films, read the books, knows the lore, and get this, not because they were paid to, but because they wanted to. Now, don't think for a moment that I am trying to discredit all of journalism. No. My sights are exclusively set on the entertainment sector of journalism. Obviously, there are other sectors that benefit from the funding and from the resources that these bigger productions can offer. Things that come to mind is things like war journalism. These things are made much more accessible and safe through much larger funding. Entertainment, though, that's a completely different story. The only thing entertainment journalists, or most entertainment journalists, have on a commentator like myself is time. These people are often given express access to a product through, whether it's premieres or early access. Now, this does allow reviewers to get reviews to consumers the minute a product goes live. Obviously, they have early access to something. They record their reviews. And they can get it up the second the product goes live. Oh, I'm thinking about buying this thing. Great, there's already X amount of people who've already had early access and have reviewed that product. However, it's also fostered this environment that is prone to a little bit of cheeky behavior. Companies like Amazon and Disney can just fluff up these same journalists with gift bags and invites. Oh, how fancy! And all of a sudden, consumers have been blindsided with a vast array of impartial reviews. Now, I am not for a second questioning the unbreakable integrity of journalists, because it never existed to begin with. I think most of these people are spineless shitbags. There will be a good few amongst them, but money can make a surprising amount of people smile and can get people to change their priorities and their morals quite quickly. Look, Amazon, if you want me to stop bitching about your shows, all you have to do is fly me first class to the latest premiere, and I can tell you how shit it is from there. There you go. If I never would, don't get it twisted, I would never receive an invite from any of these production companies, but even if I did, best believe I would tell them to stuff it up their bloated company's anus, because there is no, like, entertainment is for the masses to consume. No one needs special treatment to get you a good, legitimate review. In no way do I need early access to anything. Okay, sure, maybe it helps with the algorithm. Maybe it's better for, because I know there's a whole bunch of great YouTubers who get early access to various products. But like, people are looking for reviews day one. So yeah, you're probably more likely to get more reviews. But at the end of the day, cool. Yes, views get your money. But if you put out a good, legitimate review, I mean, I would, even if it's a bit late, even if you're a bit late to the party, maybe a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe even a month, you put a good review out there, people will listen to it. Anyway, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent there, but like, it is remarkable. Whenever a big movie comes out, it's amazing. It doesn't matter what it is. All of the big, outlets, Variety, Entertainment Week, you know the sort, Polygon. Polygon. These people, whenever the big budget things comes out, it's amazing how much they love these things. Like, okay, sure, there might be one critical review here and there, but it's always like, this is okay, this is good, this is the best thing ever since sliced bread. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 12. Oh my god, it's the best game I've ever played. I can't believe just how good the online multiplayer is. The point I'm trying to make is we've gone from a period where a good product was a good product, and we're now in a time where if a product is expensive, then it's a good product. Because it has to be, because they spent lots of money on it. Rings of power. Now, I couldn't care less if these reviews are impartial, because even if they weren't, I probably wouldn't listen to them anyway. The problem I have, the thing that really grinds my gears, is because we're now, because of this circle jerk that goes on between, the producers and the reviewers, like Hollywood and the press. Oh my god, this circle jerk that goes on between them. It's fostered an environment where these production companies don't have to work as hard. All they have to do is throw their money at the wall. If they throw enough money at something, they just don't have to try hard anymore. Because, they've spent a crazy amount of money, so the journalists are just going to be like, okay, well, they spent lots of money and it's very big, and I want to get invited to places. I still want to be, I want to go to the premieres and everything. So I'm just going to write even if it's just like a mildly positive review, it's fine, as long as I don't say anything bad. We've come to a time where film producers don't produce anything good, and reviewers don't say anything bad. And we've got this endless feedback loop that's just getting worse and worse and worse. Effort is going whoop down because journalists don't stand to benefit from being honest. We're living in a time where if a journalist is honest, they stand to lose access to various products or outlets and ultimately jeopardize their jobs. In entertainment, journalists don't benefit from being honest. Well, something's gone wrong there, hasn't it? Now, even after all this, you might still be sat there thinking, I don't know, Jonny, I think it still might be a little bit harsh to say that entertainment is all garbage right now. I mean, you might cite things like, what about Better Call Saul? What about Cobra Kai? What about, what about House of the Dragon? Hey, great. They're all fantastic. But guess what? They're also all derivatives of something that was good or were already good many years ago. Name one original production post 2018, completely original, isn't a spin-off, isn't a sequel, isn't a reboot. Name something original, completely original, you saw post 2018 that was good. I'm sure there's a couple, but I'm struggling right now, so name one. Like I say, yeah, Better Call Saul, great. Breaking Bad, and Better Call Saul was already good many years ago. House of the Dragon, it's tied to Game of Thrones. Cobra Kai, 2, maybe 1, good film already. It's and it was already good a number of years ago as well. Name something completely original post 2018 that you really enjoyed. I'm sure there's something, but I just can't think of one right now. Now, I saw something interesting yesterday. I was watching the Two Bears, One Cave podcast, a podcast usually hosted by Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. But standing in for Bert Kreischer this time was this guy called Quentin Tarantino. Don't know if you've heard of him. He's a bit of a, underground movie director. You've probably not heard of him. But when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, yeah, this guy, Quentin, he makes great movies. I miss those times, and apparently, so does he.
What's your analysis of, or your thought on current state of cinema?
It makes the 80s look great.
I'm so happy.
As terrible as the 80s was.
Yeah.
Now, we never had it so good by comparison.
Yeah. I mean, like, most things come out and you're like, this is dog shit. I know we can't like shit on everybody who works on every film, even though that'd be fun. But there's so many bad movies are so bad.
We're living through another repressive time. When it comes to cinema. The first really big repressive time was the 50s. Then we skipped a generation with the 60s, even though the first half of the 60s was basically just the 50s part 2. But then we got the 70s, and then the pendulum had to swing back again for the 80s, and then the pendulum swung the other way again for the 90s.
So Tarantino's hypothesis, if I may extrapolate and take some artistic licenses, that there's this ever-swinging pendulum when it comes to the movie industry, and it tends to swing every decade. Obviously, the 70s were great, 80s not so much, 90s really great, 2000s not quite so much, and it was due to swing back. It may it may swing back at any moment. We may be tiptoeing the event horizon of the new rebirth of cinema. But when this political phase of Hollywood finally crumbles, and it will crumble because it's proven that it just cannot sustain itself. The vocal minority that it panders to, might be very generous when it comes to handing out Twitter characters, but not so much when it comes to this. This current era is what I believe to be one of the worst periods for entertainment in its entire history. Now you might say, Johnny, what about the Dark Ages? What on earth are you on about? How on earth could you call this the worst? But when compared to all of the resources we have available to us at the moment, think about the CGI, think about the cameras, think about the technology, think about everything we have at our fingertips right now. Even the everyday man can reasonably afford to make somewhat of a cinematic production. DSLRs are more accessible than they have ever been. And then think about the unrivaled mediocrity that is being spewed out of Hollywood right now. It's nothing short of a disaster. It's a disgrace. It's embarrassing. Now, before you get your knickers in a twist saying, but I saw a good film last year. I saw a good film this year. Even if it is a derivative, it was still good. Great. Fabulous. Zoom out. I'm talking about the culture as a whole. I'm talking about entertainment as a whole. If you zoom out and take a look right now, like I say, compared to all the technology, all the resources we have at our fingertips, look at entertainment right now. It's embarrassing, because when this politically galvanized garbage chute that we call the modern day movie industry finally crumbles, and it will crumble, what rises from its ashes will be possibly one of the greatest eras of entertainment we've seen so far. I strongly believe that. Strongly, because like I say, if we can use all of these resources correctly, we can get all the right people in the right rooms doing the right things, wanting to entertain. At the end of the day, they're going to realize they just need to shut up and entertain people. No one cares about their views. Just make people smile, man. It's as simple as that. Yeah, but I don't know. That was just a couple of thoughts I had. What do you think? You'll have to let me know down in the comments below. It helps the algorithm when it comes to my videos. And don't forget, if you are in the market for a gaming chair, particularly one as sleek and as rocking, literally, as mine, you can use my affiliate link down below and it will help me as a creator as well. So that'd be great. Thank you. And like and subscribe, you bitch. And as always, a huge shout out to my top tier members, Pozamon, Flunky, Jax, and Brennis. Living legends. Tier 2 members, Steve the Goat, Dr. Melsky, Sayid, MG, Virgil, Kuno, Sako, Mark, Maiden, Sensei, Fang, Hadziu, and Michael Terpia. Mwah. Thank you once again, my friends. And of course, a big thank you to the Tier 1 patrons and the channel members too. couldn't do it without you guys, man. And you've all stuck with me. So I'm really looking to bolster the quality in my videos. You know, every penny I've made so far has gone back into this channel, and I intend to keep it going that way. These videos will get better, they'll get longer, and I'm going to put more and more work into them. Best believe that. They might not necessarily get better, but fingers crossed they do, eh? I'll do my best to keep entertaining you guys. All right, take care. And there we go. Another day, another video. Will you join me for my next video? Hopefully you will, you bitch. And I'll see you very soon. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves. And I'll see you all very soon.